So, start by telling us your name and where you're from.
Shelly Vincent. I'm originally from New London, Connecticut. Now I'm out here. I've been out here in Providence since I turned pro
Pro what?
for boxing.
Okay. All right. Well, tell us a little something about New London and Connecticut. Where you from?
New London, I was a totally different person, doing totally different things. Based on the stuff that happened to me as a child and what I had to do to get out of the situations that I was in. We'll probably touch on that later. And
What's
then,
New London like? What's it like in New London?
I mean, it's a little wild. What I was doing, it was a little wild. The people that I was chilling with, rolling with, you know what I'm saying? I mean, anywhere there's gonna be good parts, there's gonna be good parts, bad parts. So I was rolling, hanging with the wild bunch. But yeah, I was into a lot of shit. We'll say that. I was into a lot of shit. I had a lot of bad stuff happen to me, things that shouldn't happen to kids. And I'm not gonna say it led me down a path where I started doing shit. So I was selling drugs, I was hustling to get out of my house. I was sexually assaulted at 13 by my mother's boyfriend, and that was after she had finally gotten away from my stepfather, my sister's father. I never met my real father until I was older, but their father was beating me and my mother probably from the age of 7 for me, but it wasn't like regular abuse. It was like the type of abuse where he was hanging me from the wall by my neck, just beating the shit out of me, waving guns in our face. Actually shot at him.
This is your mom's boyfriend.
My sister's father. I was raised with him. I actually thought that was my real father up until, and I should have known, but I was a kid because I was light skinned. I was light skinned and everybody else was black. You know what I'm saying? So my mother is black. She's darker than me, but she's light skinned. She's Cape Verdean. So my mother's Cape Verdean. My real father is Italian. They're black and Cuban. So they're my sisters are dark skinned. The whole rest of my family, their side, my mother's side, dark skinned. I was me and my mother and my great grandmother who's dark skinned, her daughter, my mother's mother, light skinned. Everybody else was dark skinned. So I'm half black. I don't look it, so I have problems there too. Because I obviously don't act like, I don't talk like I'm Italian. I don't act like, you know what I'm saying? So, whatever, I have problems. Like, I'm going to be all over the place. So, but, so what was I saying? So, yeah, and he abused my mother, like, poured gasoline on. This is the thing that stands out the most to me. And I know I always talk this in all my interviews, but this is the thing that stands out the most to me. He poured gasoline on my mother and then chased her around the house with matches. I remember hitting him with a bat. I remember my sister pouring.
How old were you about when this all took place?
I remember the abuse and stuff. I guess I had to be 6, 7. You know what I'm saying? I probably always got it worse because I always fought back. When he was hitting my mom, I would always fight. My mom fought back the best that she could. So then I remember it was just bad. Like I remember one time he took my mom got rid of him. He got arrested or whatever. He got out, whatever. Because back then, domestic violence, like you got arrested, they let you out the next day. You know, I mean, you might not know that, but they let you out. It's not like now. Like now I feel like they might keep you a little bit longer. You might actually do a little bit of time. But back then, I'm old. So back then, I just feel like he always got out no matter what, placed bond or whatever. When my mom went to go get him, my mom was terrified of him. She was scared of him. I think she thought he was going to kill her. But, so he would do shit like take all the bulbs off our Christmas tree and take all the presents until like, my mom, like, you know what I'm saying? Just like, so I hate Christmas. I hate fucking, like, I don't celebrate holidays, even still to this day. And then when my mom died, I just, like, I really didn't, still don't celebrate holidays and shit. Like, I'm a fucked up kid. And I still feel like I never really matured into a proper adult. You know what I'm saying?
So let's think
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
No,
It's,
yeah. I'll try and we'll try and keep it, linear somewhat. As a kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you remember your mother doing for work? What was her industry? What was her thing?
All right, so my mother started as a banker. Then, now mind you, a person with trauma or PTSD and stuff, like all the stuff that I do have, the timelines are like hard to, because I guess that you block it. This is what my therapist said or stuff or something. So my mom was a banker. Then my mom did modeling. My mom did runway shows with Dougie Fresh. I remember she was out in LA all the time. She did shows with NWA. I have videos of her at NWA, the pool party for 100 miles of running. She actually knows Miss Chalet. Now they have a similar story. I didn't know that till I seen it. Like, I remember my mom being on the phone with her. But Eddie Murphy, like all that shit. I actually don't like Eddie Murphy because of some shit that he broke my mom's camera and all that shit. She wanted to take a picture with him when she seen him out or some shit. Like, he's a dick. He treats, you know what I'm saying? But whatever. My mom like did all these. She did modeling. She did the runway shows and shit like that a lot. But she did them all out in LA. So I have abandonment issues because my mom would always disappear and then come back.
And you were staying with
my grandmother at that time, because when the abuse and shit was happening, we'd always end up at my grandmother's, then back home. My grandmother's, back home.
What was your
my
relationship
grandmother's
like with her?
wonderful.
Is she still around?
No, she died. My mother died from leukemia. She was diagnosed at 36. She died at 37 years old. So my grandmother died 7 months later from another form of cancer. I was a heavy alcoholic back then. I was on drugs, trying to kill myself. So at this time, yeah, pretty much since I was 13, after I got raped by my mother's new boyfriend, who my mother. So speaking of what my mother did, so after that, once it was real hard for me for my mother to be gone. So they told her come home. My grandfather, I think, told her come home, or what, I don't know what was said, but my mother came home. She didn't do that anymore because it was like too damaging to me. The rest of my little sisters didn't bother them, but it like fucked me up because I was the only one getting abused and my mom got abused in that time. So like me and my mom's bond was like real tight. I used to lay on her chest, listen to her heartbeat to see what she was like. Like me and my mom was, because we was always fighting for each other. She came home and she started doing corrections. Now when she came home was a correctional officer, that's where she met the other guy. And I can't say his name and everything because of some shit that happened. But I will say this, that they tried to find me in court to get the shit handled and everything, and I didn't handle it when it happened because he threatened to kill my mom. He threatened to whatever. And my mom died. I don't fucking give a fuck no more. You know what I'm saying? What can you do to my mom now? I don't give a fuck if you kill me because I'm fucking depressed. I want to be dead. I wanted to be dead since I was fucking like 10. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm doing better with now, but like these are just real things. But they finally find me and they're trying to, and I'm not gonna say too much, I'm gonna say what I can. They're trying to find me, one, to bring a kid into the country for baseball, and his son's a starting pitcher for Major League Baseball thing or whatever. So it looks like the son did it to me. You know what I'm saying?
So the guy who did something to you, they wanted to pin it on his son?
No, but it looked like, and that's all I'm gonna say, because I can't say too much the way it is now. So he admitted that he did it, all that shit. He admitted at the time. You know what I'm saying? But it looks like the son did it to me, and the son is, you know what I'm saying?
The baseball player.
Yeah. I don't know what he's doing now. I don't know where he is now, but
how old were you when this happened?
I was 13, maybe 14. Just turned 14. Freshman and going into a freshman in school or whatever. Yeah. And then so
Did you?
he tried to get my sister after I started hiding, and that's how I told my sister. My sister told my mom. My mom went to the police. Then my mom fought him in the prison where they both worked together. But that's how that happened, and that's how I ended up trusting him. And he really presented himself as this guy that wanted to be a positive male in my life and be a father, because I never knew my real father. My stepfather was beating the shit out of me and my mother. He was actually great to my mother. He was great to me, but that's what they do. And that's what kids need to know, is that you just can't trust everybody. And usually when you get sexually assaulted or raped, it's by somebody close to you, somebody in your family, somebody that's been plotting on you. And the thing is, he did it to me thinking I was always going to be a little ghetto kid. I was always going to be a little fucking nobody, somebody that... And I ended up being somebody with a real big voice. Mm-hmm. And the shit backfired.
So, do you remember did you ever tell your mom about this?
No, because, and again, you have to think from the mind of a child. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, well, if I say something to my mom, she's probably going to go back to him, my sister's father, and he's just going to start beating the shit out of us again. Or, well, mom's happy now and she's not getting beat up, so if I got to get raped and it's protecting my mother, then at least I'm protecting my mother. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm thinking, well, this man's really fucking nice to me. Nobody ever been nice to me. Nobody ever loved me except for my mother and my great-grandmother. My own family didn't fucking like me. I mean, everybody likes me now. They act like that, but nobody gave a fuck about me back when I was going through my depression or when I started acting out and nobody understood why. You know what I'm saying? I was a straight-A student up until all that shit happened. My hair was down past my ass. I was actually a child model because my grandmother was on the front page of magazines. That's why my mother started modeling. And like my grandmother was on the front page of magazine. My grandmother was gorgeous. And she was actually drugged. And that's why she stopped modeling. And the FBI was involved with it. Like, my life was real fucking crazy. Obviously, that was way before I was born. But, like, that's so I was like a child. I never wanted to do that. I was always like a little tomboy. You know what I'm saying?
Did your mom love this guy, do you think?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think my mom loved my stepfather, too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? My stepfather, now, here's the thing about my stepfather. I loved him. You know what I'm saying? He was a good guy when he wasn't drinking. He was, you know what I'm saying? He was funny. He was caring. Like, he really did care. But then as it progressed, you know what I'm saying? His drinking got worse and worse and worse and worse to the point where he was drinking as soon as he got up. He was drinking every day. I mean, he ended up ultimately dying because his liver shut down from the drinking and everything. And I don't know what else he was doing when he was a kid. It's like, there's so many questions that I have for my mother. But my mother died so young that, I mean, I was a kid when my mom died, and my mom was like young as fuck. So there's like so many questions that I'll just never know. Things that I never learned anything. I never learned things that I should have learned because I never really had parents. I never
What level of education do you have?
I finished high school, and I was smart. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna say I'm not smart, but I was a straight A student. I was into school. I was in everything until that happened. Then when that happened, I was disrespectful. I fought anybody that looked at me wrong. I fought anybody that I thought was gonna do something to me because I wasn't scared of people. I started to become scared of their intentions. And it's just anytime somebody was nice to me, I thought they were trying to set me up or trying to pervert me, or you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, I never trusted anybody. I don't trust anybody in my family. I don't trust any women that I date. I don't trust any of my friends. I don't trust anybody because I never trusted my mother. I never trusted. I think the only person I probably did trust is my great grandmother. And yeah.
I hear that a lot.
And she was great, and she was great to me, but I think back now and I say it to my sister all the time. I'm like, damn, I was so fucking bad and like rotten to everybody, but it was just, I was lost. I was drinking.
What age did you start?
I was doing drugs, 13, immediately.
What age did you start doing drugs?
13.
What were you doing?
Heroin, cocaine,
13?
ecstasy. Now I wasn't doing it to feel good. I wasn't doing it for recreation. I was doing that shit solely to kill myself. I had guns to my head at my grandmother's grave.
What did you have guns to your head for?
One bullet, like trying to kill myself, high as fuck, because I didn't have the, I guess, the strength or the balls to do it when I was sober. So I get drunk, high as hell. I almost overdosed a few times. I drove across the bridge, highway in Connecticut, the wrong way, trying to catch like how the fuck did I even get here? I'm trying to think. Yeah, I used to try to make the police shoot me.
So you've had several altercations
Oh
with
yeah,
the police?
Yeah. I've been to prison 3 times.
Wow.
Assaults, most of them assaults. Or defending myself. That's the best way to put it. Defending myself. Like I said, the minute I felt somebody was doing something to me, and a lot of times it was people doing shit to me and me just reacting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People trying to jump me, and I just happened to be the one that got arrested because I got the upper hand. But yeah, like shit like that. But I was trying to kill myself all the time.
You just didn't want to be around.
Yep.
Is there anything that you can think of in your youth that made you feel better, since so much made you feel terrible? Is there anything you can think of that made you feel good?
It was definitely boxing.
Okay.
Definitely boxing.
What's the very first memory you have of the sport of boxing?
Man, it would have to be watching Mike Tyson and Christy Martin on it was Mike Tyson, definitely. I was watching Mike Tyson. We'd always be in there, the pay-per-views. No matter what, we was in there. I remember when Mike Tyson lost, I didn't go to school for like a week, and I was crying like it was my father, and I wouldn't go to school. They didn't like, it fucked me up because I was like he was really like somebody I idolized and whatever. And then I was watching his stuff. We have a lot of similarities and stuff too. He definitely had a way worse life than me, but a lot of similarities in some of the things that happened. Then Christy Martin, we were like, so I'm like, I want to box, Ma. I want to box. She was like, you can't box. This is not boxing for girls. Like, you got to do karate. Like, just do your karate and shut up. Like, that's all they have for girls, and you're lucky that there's that. So we end up finding this place in Waterford at the time, right next door to New London, and I trained with Kent Wood, eventually with Earl Walsh, and so we see this white chick come out. Ends up being Chrissy Martin. She's a legend. She's an icon, whatever. And she fighting pay-per-view, right? So my mom's like, well, I guess, maybe. I'm like, you lied. Like, you're lying. Like, you lied to me all these years. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, I guess you, maybe you can do it. Maybe you will end up on TV one day. Maybe. And she making like, I don't know what it was at the time, $1 million or whatever. But like, you know what I'm saying? And for Mike Tyson, you know what I'm saying? So Christy Martin became like this, like what Mike Tyson was for me, except this woman, and it was more influential because she was a woman. So then, all these years pass, I'm watching Netflix, a familiar face pops up again. So I'm like, oh, I gotta watch this. So now it's telling her story and how it's, you know, obviously showing all the boxing stuff. But then it shows how her husband at the time, who ended up being her trainer, and then, you know, that just happened. He stabbed her up, he shot her and left her for dead. And he left the room, and she made it out to the street or whatever, and then they got her to the hospital. And then you hear all her backstory and how she was using the drugs to pretty much the same thing, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, like, this woman saving my life again. As an adult now and not a kid, you know what I'm saying? So, like, that did a lot for me. And I finally met Christy Martin like a couple weeks ago, and we was talking to the kids together. She was telling her story. I went over there and I talked to the kids, telling them my story. And I finally got to meet Christy and tell her, you know, what she did for me as a kid, and that, like, how she did the same thing for me as an adult. So that was like a beautiful thing for me. And it gave me hope again, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't care what nobody says. And I wish that people would be honest, like, they have trauma and they've been through shit. Like all the people, oh yeah, like, I got through this great and I don't even think about it no more. When you have shit happen to you like that, like you're raped or you're abused or shot or stabbed or probably shit like that by, you know what I'm saying? Like, traumatically, you know what I'm saying? Not just like, You don't ever forget that shit. You always have fucking nightmares. You always fucking deal with it. It's just you learn to cope with it better as the days progress. No therapist helps you with that shit. They help you get through it and learn how to cope with it a little bit better, but it never goes away. You always have the nightmares, and it's like, I wish people were honest, because kids or people that are adult, you know what I'm saying, like that struggle with it, need to know that when they're still feeling it, that it's okay. Not that, oh, well, this person got through it and they healed. Like, nobody ever properly heals from that type of stuff. You just get better progressively with time. You know what I'm saying? I feel like people just really need to be honest with that. Like,
do you think that when you started boxing seriously, did you use that to take out some of the frustrations that you felt due to your circumstance?
yeah, absolutely. Like, boxing definitely saved my life, and it pulled me out of a grave. Now, as an amateur, I was still getting high and drinking, but I was winning. So it was like, oh, like, it's crazy, but I guess that showed how good I was. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I lost some fights a couple fights I lost that I shouldn't have, against people that I shouldn't have, like splits, which if I definitely wasn't, I wouldn't have. But then when I turned pro, I really took it serious. And the last time I came out of jail, I said, oh, they were like, oh, you'll be back. You're too small. You're never going to be good. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never knocking nobody out. You're not going to win. You're just too small. You're a fucking piece of shit. You're a troublemaker. Like, you'll be back here. Like, this is just what you do. And then I said, nah. I said, I'm gonna get out this time. I'm gonna turn pro. I'm gonna become a world champion. I'm gonna be on TV. Like, I'm gonna do all this. Everybody's laughing. So, hey, I wish my mom was alive when I ended up being the first woman in this era to fight on national television. For when I met Christy Martin, you know what I'm saying? Because Christy Martin was the one that gave me that hope, and you know what I'm saying? It was all boxing. I did that, but that day when I got out of prison, that last time I fought like 2 weeks later, lost like 25 pounds in 2 weeks. I fought. I lost by like a point, and then I won all my fights after that.
This is professional?
Nah, amateur. And then I turned pro. So all this happened like within a month, too, mind you. Then I lost weight. I went to nationals. I won nationals. Then maybe 2 months total. And I turned pro. Couple weeks after that, maybe.
How old were you when you turned pro?
Shit, old. 31, I think. 2012, 31. I'm old as shit. Like, I just look young, and it's crazy because of all the drugs I did, all the drinking I did. Like, I was drunk, high every day. Like I was trying to kill myself. Like, when I tell you I was trying to kill myself. So I was doing a lot of drugs every day. I detoxed at my house by myself. All the doctors said I should have died just doing that. I obviously should have died from all the other stuff I was doing, especially when I was trying to kill myself doing the dumb shit, like with the guns, driving across the bridge. But for some reason I'm here, and I think that I'm here because I'm supposed to tell my story, and kids and women like me are supposed to hear this and know that you can get out and you can turn it around. I'm not saying every day is going to be great, because it's not. I'm not suicidal anymore, but there are days I wake up and I wish I was dead still. You know what I'm saying? But definitely way better. That's what I'm saying is you don't heal all the way, but you learn how to cope way better. And you find people. Will I ever trust people? Maybe not. But
what do you think? So you say you at those times you wanted to die, right?
yeah,
What do you think happens when you die? What do you think makes it better?
I just want to be numb and not feel. That why you think the drugs were great? When I was fucked up, I didn't feel anything. But then as soon as you're back and you're sober, it's hell, and you feel all that pain again.
Are you religious at all?
No.
Have you ever been?
Yeah. Not no more though. Can't nobody convince me. I mean, I don't knock anybody. I don't believe in the devil. I just don't believe in a God either. I believe that you make decisions and you make choices, and either you're a good person or you're a bad person. I believe we all make mistakes and we either change or whatever, but if there was a God and we read this in the Bible. I read the Bible probably front to back when I was in prison. But I used to go to church. I was baptized. I was, you know what I'm saying, when I was a kid. But then, why are innocent babies getting raped? Why are innocent kids getting hurt and raped and abducted and chopped up and whatever? Why was my mother, who wasn't a bad person, why was she assaulted and berated and beat up and the way that she was? My great-grandmother, who was amazing, why did she die from cancer? She never did anything wrong to nobody. She's probably the most pure woman that you know. But like innocent babies getting raped, and it just doesn't make sense to me. If there's this man that can heal everything and like all the stuff that it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, I understand bad people and all that, but it just, why these innocent people would you let this happen to? And they say, oh, because the devil and God lets people choose what they're gonna do. Well, why would he choose to let? Okay, yeah, choose to let the people make their decisions and be whatever, but why wouldn't you protect the innocent?
Right. Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me, and I don't believe in the devil either, though. So it's not like I don't believe in God and I'm this evil person that believe in demons and whatever. Like, I just don't believe in that or that. I believe that, if anything, this is hell, and we can only go up somewhere better than this. I think this might be hell.
So, I take it in your family.
When you die, I think it's just peace.
Okay. Makes sense. Did you have any men in your family and personal life growing up that you found to be respectable and trusted? And
my grandfather, and one guy that my mother ended up being engaged to. His name's Kevin too, but Pops, and he's still in my life, and he's definitely been a role model and a good person to me. He never done anything bad or harmful, and actually, he's been there for me. He's never done anything wrong. He taught me things that I've never learned as a, you know what I'm saying? Even when my mom died, even when after my mom broke up, like, he even tried to take me when him and my mom split up, but my mom wouldn't let me go and split with my sisters, because obviously they had a father. I never had, you know what I'm saying? But he was great, and he was great to me. He never.
What right now would you say, if any, what do you feel right now as an adult?
I don't feel shit. I've already been through, but I don't feel like anything worse could possibly happen to me. You know? I really don't. I lost my mother. I never really had, I never had nobody care about me. Besides my mother and my grandmother. I've been raped. I've been abused. Been lied to. I've been deceived my whole fucking life. I mean, I just really don't feel like I already had my deal of bad luck, and I just don't feel like things. I've already been through the worst. Like, that's why, like, boxing is like, oh, aren't you scared to get knocked out? Like, I've been pistol whipped. I've been stabbed. I've been raped. Like, if I get knocked out, it's like I'm gonna wake up and be like, oh, you know. And it's just I don't know. I really don't feel like things could be any worse. Unless I die, but you're not gonna remember that.
How do you feel like boxing compares to real life? Like, do you find
I feel like I'm fighting back. I feel like I'm fighting for something. It's then when you win, it's like you got through it. You know what I'm saying? But whenever it's like controlled chaos, and it feels like a therapy session to me. It's like, I wish I fought back when the guy raped me. I wish I went to court and fought for the things at 13 when I should have. Now, the reason why I didn't go to court is because I was scared that the kids at school was going to make fun of me. They were going to make fun of my mother. They were going to give my sisters and them problems at school. You just know how kids are. You know what I'm saying? I was just so worried about everybody else. And I was worried that he was going to hurt my mother. But, yeah, so it's like my soul feels free. when I'm boxing, and I feel like I'm finally fighting back, and I feel like I'm fighting the guy that raped me. I feel like I'm fighting my father that was abusing us. I just feel like I'm fighting back, and I'm fighting for my life, fighting for that life that I wanted, and you know what I'm saying, and for my freedom. That's why I wear the straight jacket to symbolize the way women are tied down in sports, and me trying to break free of my demons. I wear the mask because the real Guy Fawkes, he was born 2 days after me, but died the same day as my mother. The movie, if you replace the government and replaced it with other stuff, there's a lot of similarities in the movie. Names, which I'm not gonna say no names because I don't feel like dealing with the backlash of that. But just a lot of similarities and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like with the mask on, yeah, V for Vendetta. With the mask on, you know what I'm saying? We're all the same. You know what I'm saying? The ideas are bulletproof. You know, just all that. If you've seen the movie, then you know.
One of my favorites.
Yep. But what they did to me was monstrous. They created a monster. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the main things. But everything I do is for a purpose, and people think I'm just trying to go out there and look intimidating, be scary and look crazy. Like, no, like everything has a deep meaning that I do, and there's a purpose for everything that I do. On my tattoos, they're probably, if you looked at me, they'd be telling a story. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, everything's with a deep purpose that I do with the kids walking out, all that.
Right. Yeah, I've seen some of the best walkouts ever, probably. Very, very entertaining. With boxing, you've had a lot of success, right? What's your record and what's some of your accomplishments in the sport?
27-2. I had 3 championships. I was the first woman to fight on national television with Heather Hardy. First woman on NBC, first woman on PBC, and we fought the same night as Errol Spence. We had the highest views, I think, in history at that time. We had more views than Errol Spence that night. We had a lot of punch output. Forgot what it was, but in 2 minutes, more than a lot of men had in 3.
This is the fight with
Heather Hardy. The first fight, on NBC. Then for PBC. I think we still might be the only women that ever fought on PBC. We got Fight of the Year, Round of the Year. Then we fought on HBO. And one of the 4 women to ever fight on HBO. Fought on the Zone. And it's like, but now, me and Heather are the ones that started that and got that in motion. And that was mostly my big mouth and my personality. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, and then me and Heather, we had this pressure. Like, if you guys don't back it up and make the fight what you guys said it was, me and Heather really hated each other. Like, that wasn't fake. That wasn't a thing to get us on TV. Like, that hate was real. I hated her. She hated me. Her fans hated my fans. My fans hated her fans. Her daughter hated my daughter. My daughter hated her daughter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Her daughter's flicking off my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was bad. A lot of shit was being said. Like, they were saying I was on steroids. They were saying I was a man. They were saying stuff about my mother. There was like it was bad. And the hate and all that stuff, it was real. We're cool now. We talk. Because when you fight like that, and then Heather ended up texting me one night. I don't know why. I'm not going to get too much into that either because I'm not that type of person. But we have a lot of similarities. A lot of stuff that's the same.
Mm-hmm. So you guys worked it out.
Yeah.
Found common ground.
Yeah. But all that shit was real.
Do you feel like you've been duly compensated for all that pioneering in the sport?
Nope.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I mean, that's just how it is. People, all of the girls before me, Kalisha West, Ava Knight, like they're the original, I think, like ambassadors and all that stuff. Melissa Hernandez, Belinda Laraquente, just for some of them, those are a lot of the girls. Christy Martin obviously did her thing. Layla Ali, they got the coverage and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But the girls after them, because then it was like boxing went blank. You know what I'm saying? Women's boxing. But Jamie Clampett was on TV. She was on and all that stuff. But those girls, like, you don't hear about them. Then me and Heather happened, and then we got TV, and it was either you guys are really gonna, if the fight ain't what you guys say, and the shit ain't how you guys are saying, like, you know what I'm saying, somebody gets knocked out or ain't gonna be back and forth like you guys are saying, then women are never gonna be on TV again, and that's gonna be because of y'all. So it's either you guys are gonna do it and make women's boxing something, or you're gonna ruin women's boxing. So that added pressure on top of now we have to sell the place out. We have to do better than the men. Now we have to put asses in the arena, plus we have to get the views on TV, plus we have to put on this amazing fight. You know what I'm saying? Which we did all three, but it was like I brought, Heather sold out half of the arena, I sold out the other half of the arena. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not from New York. You know what I'm saying? So all my people came out there. Like, I sold more tickets than her. You know what I'm saying? But she sold a lot of tickets too. Nobody else sold the tickets that was there. You know what I'm saying? So
Who was the headline on that?
Errol Spence. Yep. So, but look at, now women's boxing is on TV. Every single fight, pretty much. Not every single fight, but a lot. I mean, Eddie Hearns stays putting a woman on his card. ESPN, they got Michaela Mayer. Now they have Sanisa Estrada. You know what I'm saying? Trying to think. But there's always a fight on Showtime, The Zone, or something, and the women are always on now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But they don't ever talk about me or Heather and how that started from us. You know what I'm saying?
So you do think the business
from this era, you know what I'm saying? Not from, because there's girls that did it before us, but this era, that all started. You know what I'm saying? Did we get the money that them girls are seeing now? No, hell no. You know what I'm saying? The girls are making look at, they just made $1 million. Amanda Serrano, right. Katie Taylor. They deserve it, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Are they better fighters than us? Absolutely. I ain't fucking ashamed to say that. Katie Taylor's amazing. Amanda Serrano's fucking amazing. I ain't knocking out nobody with one shot. You know what I'm saying? Amanda's doing that. It's this female Mike Tyson right there. You know what I'm saying? Katie Taylor, she's fucking amazing. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? They deserve that mill. But some of us old timers, you know what I'm saying? Like, we deserve some of that. But so we didn't make that. We didn't touch that.
You think the business of boxing is just late?
Yeah. But the girls are going to get that now. And the girls coming up behind us are going to get that now. And that makes me happy. That makes me smile. Because before, I would tell a little girl, like, don't waste your time. Mm-hmm. Like, you got to do it because you love it and because you enjoy it. Because you ain't ever going to do anything with it. Like, me and Heather at that time was making more than everybody. Yeah. But we sold a lot of tickets. If we didn't sell them tickets, we would have been making $3,000, $5,000 just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if you watch, but the UFC has a lot of women fighters nowadays too. And
yeah.
Making a good amount.
They always made bank though. Most of them, the ones that was up there, the other girls, they still make bad money too. But the ones that are on TV, they make bread. They make bread.
Definitely.
Yep.
So, I ask everybody this question: if you could go back in time and you're sitting with your 12-year-old self, so Shelly at 12 years old is sitting right there. What's that look like? What do you say to her?
I'll just hug her and be like, none of it's your fault. Like, try to trust people, try to talk to somebody, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's not your fault. It's like not your fault. Things can get better too. Things are gonna get better. Don't sit there, beat yourself up and try to kill yourself. And like, it's life is too precious. And it gets better. And I wish I would have learned that a little bit older, and I wish I would have talked to somebody a little bit sooner. And that's why I talk so much about what's going on with me now, because I want that little girl that was in her closet every day, that wished I had somebody to talk to. I want to be that for somebody. I don't care who it is. I wanted it to be one person. And then I went to the school, and 3 little girls contacted me that day. And every time I went to a school or I went somewhere to talk, little boys, even little boys, would contact me, and I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So like now I just want to save as many kids as I can.